Hello everyone, my name is Svetlana and on this channel, which is named Perthumery, I share with you my experience with collecting perfumes. I'm not an expert, I'm not a perfumer, I'm not a teacher, I never learned perfumery, I'm just exploring this world of scents. If you find I'm saying something wrong, please correct me. If you would like to contribute, please feel free to do it in the comments. I'm open to new learnings and I'm sharing my learnings with you. Please share yours with me. So today's video will be about my exchanges and swaps. I swapped few perfumes recently. Perth is a place where I live. It's a capital city of Western Australia, and it's the most isolated capital city in the world. Maybe because of this, we have quite a strong perfume community. People who like perfumes get together and we know each other. And recently we had a sniffing event where we came to try new fragrances, to swap the fragrances. Why is that? Because we do not have as many perfume shops as probably most of you living in the big cities do. Therefore, if you want to test something, you either have to travel somewhere or you have to ask someone who already has this fragrance. And it's a good place to learn, and it's a good place sniffing events is a good place to learn and explore new things. So it was 2 weeks ago, and I did few swaps, and I will be talking about them today. First swap I got, this perfume is from house of Penhaligons. Penhaligons is an English house, probably not English, but I say British. It's a British house, and the name of this fragrance is Eau Sans Pareil. It's a French name. You would ask me why it's a French name for the English fragrance, and actually it's even more interesting because the name means uncomparable. It means hard to compare, and it was named after the locomotive, which was designed in Liverpool or Manchester in the north of England, and the locomotive was designed in 1870s, and perfume first was created in 1988, and it was reissued in Penhaligon's collection of Anthology in 2011, and fortunately we have chance to smell it and to say what is that. It's very interesting. It's actually, if you don't know the story about the locomotive, then probably will be hard to understand what it smells. When I tried it, for me it was very hard to describe it. I cannot say it's fresh, I cannot say it's warm or cold or heavy or light. It's very, very interesting. I would say it has a niche quality, but Penhaligons by itself, it's a pretty niche house. They only do perfumes pretty much. If you know a story about locomotive, then you understand what it smells. It actually smells very modern, and it smells a little bit of something technical, like the lubricating oil. It contains something like this. It's hard to say it's masculine or feminine. I would say it's a little bit more masculine because we associate lubricating oil with traditionally men's job, but these days women do mostly the same things and even more than men. So it's unisex. Yeah. The author of this fragrance is Bertrand Duchaufour, and if you know other Bertrand Duchaufour creations, you would understand how approximately it smells. It is quite strange, yeah. Everything Bertrand Duchaufour does has a little bit of unusual direction. So this one as well. So then further, if you look at the notes, you would notice that the notes are actually like from 80s or 70s. What I mean, there are too many notes. It's like 8 top notes and 10 middle notes, and maybe I'm wrong, yeah. 9 top notes, which include raspberries, cypress, aldehydes, pineapple, kumquat, tagetes, bergamot, mandarin orange, and neroli. It's a lot. It's already too much for the modern fragrance. Most of the modern fragrance have less these notes altogether, and I've just read you the top notes. And middle notes are mostly flowers, which are rose, jasmine, ylang-ylang, orris, clove. Orange flowers, lily of the valley, and licorice. And base notes also has everything which you can put in a base note. It has a oak moss, it has a vetiver, it has a patchouli, amber, vanille, cedar, benzoin, musk, French labdanum. What it doesn't have, I would say, yeah, it doesn't have wood. Sandalwood? No. Okay. It has almost everything in the bottom notes. What Fragrantica says about it? It says it's an aromatic fougere. But I assume fougere fragrances, they must sort of have a lavender, and this fragrance doesn't have a lavender. But if we talk about Chypre fragrances, I assume this fragrance can qualify because it has a quite a strong Chypre base. It has a oak moss, it has a vetiver, it has a patchouli. Vetiver and the patchouli normally used to replace the oak moss in the modern fragrances because oak moss is banned by IFRA. This fragrance has both, so it's an old Chypre, traditional Chypre, is a modern Chypre. Also, it has notes of labdanum, and labdanum, you know, is what they say. Labdanum is amber and vanilla combination, but it also has amber and vanilla. It also has a benzoin, which gives a balsamic twist to the Chypre fragrances. So those not qualify for two foundation stones of the Chypre fragrance. The next foundation stone of Chypre should be on the top notes is a bergamot, and yes, it has a bergamot. It also has a kumquat and mandarin. So it's sufficient ingredients here to qualify for Chypre. And when I smell it, I'm thinking with that number of notes, it should be a cacophony of notes, yeah? It should, and actually it's not. It's very hard to explain. I agree with that. I will spray it again. But, oh, it's so nice. Now, it has a very distinguishable raspberry note. So, it's very, very interesting. If you have a chance, please try it. If you tired from everything else, like if you tired from leather, if you tired from patchouli, if you tired from rose, or you tired from ylang, just try it. It has everything and is so well blended that it's hard to say what exactly is there. And at the same time, it's not heavy. It's even, you can even say it's fresh, but it's a good combination. It's fantastic. So, what I swapped it with. I swapped it with a fragrance from house Ramon Monegal, and name is Cherry Musk. This is a picture here. So obviously I don't have this fragrance anymore because I swapped it and I have nothing to show to you. Why did I do it? So Ramon Monegal is a Spanish perfume maker, and they make quite expensive fragrances. If you look in the packaging, the packages are so beautiful. They are like in a plastic box which has a twisting top, so you cannot just open. You need to open it like if it's a screw something. And inside that there is a box which I've just shown you, the round shaped box with a beautiful opening cap, like if it was a lighter, like what's the name of the lighter? Forgot. And inside there is a sprayer. So it's a beautiful house, and I bought this fragrance at the charity sale, and I didn't know what is it. So I was thinking it's a nice house. I checked it and notes look beautiful. I was craving cherries at the time, and it's a charity event, so it ticks a lot of boxes. So I bought it blindly, and when it arrived I was a little bit surprised because what I was smelling from this fragrance was like if you take a dirty kitchen towels, you wash them and then you press them with a hot iron, and this smell of the burning kitchen towels, clean but burning kitchen towels, that was what I felt. And I was checking on Fragrantica, I was checking for reviews of other people, and I found that people smell the cocktail on the beach, they smell the cherries in the cocktail, they smell just cherries, they smell something else, something beautiful. Was very, very different from what I smell. I think we all have a different olfactory perception, and I was unlucky to appreciate that fragrance, and I brought it to the event to check if people feel the same as me or they have a different opinion. And actually everyone smelled nice cherries, and nice guy Rehman, he swapped it with me on Penhaligon. I hope we are both happy, because if you cannot appreciate something and instead of that you get something nice like this, interesting, very interesting, you feel very happy. Going to the next swap. Next fragrance I got as a swap is Midnight with a Mobster, yep, from Dua Fragrances. I also know that some call it Mobster and some call it Midnight Rendezvous with Mobster. So I didn't know a lot about this house, and after I got this fragrance I checked on Fragrantica what is that, and this house specializes in making inspired fragrances. So I understand this fragrance is an inspiration from Rouge Dua, and Rouge Dua fragrance named, I think, Enigma. Just let me check, please. Yeah, Enigma. So, Rouge Dua meant to be a tobacco alcohol fragrance, and this one meant to replicate it. So, when I tried it, for me it smelled like a nice black tea, actually. Soft, nice black tea. According to the notes, it contains tobacco, spicy notes, whiskey, agar wood, patchouli and sandalwood. So what I should say, sandalwood probably gives it creaminess, and it's not a strong oud fragrance. You don't really feel a lot of oud. You actually don't feel oud at all. It gives you deep depths, but it doesn't smell like thick oud or very Middle Eastern. It's not a really Middle Eastern fragrance. It smells just nice. It's also well blended. You cannot feel separate spicy notes, separate alcohol notes, separate patchouli notes, or whiskey, or tobacco. No, it's just nice, deep fragrance. And I think also I appreciate that while fragrance is quite deep whiskey color, it doesn't leave the same color on a white material, so you pretty safely can wear it with the white clothes. Some say that it may not be nice to buy fragrances from the house which produces copies or dupes or clones. I don't think I have a right to judge people who buy it or who sell it or who make it. Obviously, it's always good to reward people who bring original ideas, then reward those who copy those ideas. However, I probably can afford the original fragrances, and I would not be purposely buying something inspired. Yeah, I like rewarding people who do original things, but not everyone can afford Rouge Dua, which is very expensive. So I wouldn't be judging people who cannot afford and still want to smell a particular combination of notes. Yeah. I was reading reviews. They say that these fragrances smell cheap versus originals. I didn't try this particular Rouge Dua fragrance, and I cannot say how exactly it smells, but I have other very expensive fragrances, and I cannot say this one smell cheap. It doesn't smell cheap. It smells okay. It smells like a quality fragrance, so please don't trust if they say it smells cheap. No. What I swapped it with, once I was buying a bundle of fragrances and I wanted some of them. I think it was there was a bunch of old formulation of Acqua di Parma Mediterranean colognes, and among them in the bundle it was a fragrance for men. It was a Paco Rabanne XS for men in the old formulation. This one. Paco Rabanne Black XS for Men was created by Olivier Cresp and Rosenda Mato. Olivier Cresp is one of my favorite perfumers. I pretty much like everything he makes, every single thing. So now I regret that I swapped that fragrance, but I think it was a conscious decision because I have enough fragrances to wear. And that particular one is, I cannot say even it's for men. If you look at the modern tendencies of perfumery, you will find that such type of fragrances are now unisex, and both men and women wear it. That fragrance was created in 2005, and if you look at the notes of that fragrance, it has a praline notes. It's a man gourmand fragrance created in 2005. It's very beautiful, especially that formulation created pre 2010. It has a little bit different materials, and it sounds like a richer than the modern version. So if you decide one day to buy Black XS for men, then try to buy a version before 2010. 2010 is still okay. This is a year when IFRA forced a lot of reformulations, but 2010 and earlier, 2005 to 2010, they are fine. This fragrance also has notes of lemon and sage, cinnamon, tolu balsam, cardamom, rosewood, patchouli, and amber and black amber. It's very beautiful, and girls, if you want to wear that, you will not regret. It's a really good one. Okay, then I'm going to the next swap. Next swap was with a very nice girl, Eugenia, and we swapped decant with decant. So I've got a decant of Kilian, by Kilian, and the name of the fragrance is Flower of Immortality. I have few Kilians in my collection, but I always thought the Kilians are very dense and very show-off fragrances, like very present, saying, this is me, I'm here, so everyone knows I'm here, look at me. But when I tried this one, I was a little bit surprised, because it is quite humble fragrance, and if someone gave me in a blind tasting, I would not, I would say it's a Kilian. It has a recognizable Kilian base. I thought I wouldn't recognize it. Yes, you would recognize Kilian. It has a special, I would say, like cashmere base. Yeah, it's something like a silk cashmere. Very beautiful. It was created in 2013 by Calice Becker. Calice Becker is a young and already famous female perfumer, and I appreciate we have a lot of females now in making perfumes. Very beautiful. And if we go to the notes, I should probably say first what I felt in this fragrance. It's something a little bit salty, fresh, flowery, on top on this cashmere silky Kilian base. It would suit anything. So you can wear it in the office, you can wear it for the date, but it smells a nice girl. It doesn't smell dirty, it doesn't smell a bad girl. It's a nice girl who probably is okay to start being bad, but still nice. If about season, I would say it's very versatile. It's warm enough for winter, but it's fresh enough for summer. Same for day and night. It's very, very versatile. If I gave it a color, it probably would be salmon color. If I would talk about attitude, I would say it would be, no, it's not sad, but it's not a super happy. It's a class fragrance, so I think if it was a lady, it would be English lady. And it would be a lady, not just a woman. I think it somehow came to my mind that Princess Diana would wear it. It associates me with that. So now going to the notes. And notes are interesting because they main note is peach. And I assume this what gives me this Kilian undertone. Tonka bean, black currant, rose, iris, and carrot seeds. And this a little bit of saltiness. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but maybe carrot seeds give it. And it's not powdery, and rose is not rosy, and black currant is not like a, you know, some people say it smells like a cat pee. Not at all. It smells very nicely and probably is the cleanest and freshest peach in the modern perfumery. So if you look for the peach notes, this is really, really good. Because when I'm thinking about peach, and if you look at the peach fragrances like Yves by Yves Saint Laurent, it has a vintage vibe. It's more like a peach, preserved peach, you know. And if you look at the bitter peach from Tom Ford, then their peach reminds me something like Gucci Rush peach, which also has a little bit preservation. This is a fresh one. Yeah, very beautiful. And what I swapped it with, I gave to the nice girl Eugenia a decant of the fragrance from BDK. It's a niche house, and the name of the fragrance is Rouge Smoking. So, for me, this fragrance is a cherry and tonka beans. In general, I like everything from this house so far, but I only have one bottle because we don't have a place to buy it in Perth. If I go somewhere else and I find where they sell them, I would probably buy more. Another fragrance from this house I tried was jasmine fragrance and was so beautiful, unbelievable. I already want it. And if you are looking for something new, unusual, very wearable, then please look at here. Yeah, they're all unisex, and this cap, it's a porcelain or glass cap, so it's not plastic. So and look at the color, how beautiful is the color. It was very popular at the sniffies. I think it attracts attention, and I think the shape is very well done, that you want to try it and you want to keep it and you want to smell it. I think someone who worked on the design of this bottle did very, very good job, and the concept to color juices, not to color bottles, they did a good job. Congratulations. This fragrance is from 2018, and the author of this fragrance is Amélie Bourgeois. So I don't need to spray it because I tried it so many times. We also see, does it give a, no, it doesn't leave the red stains on white. Yeah, it's a good thing from the fragrance. It's all in my fingerprints. Here you see BDK. I don't need to spray it because I know it very well. If you try tonka bean fragrances, such as, for example, tonka beans from Tonka Imperial from Guerlain, or tonka beans in Tom Ford Lost Cherry, they will remind you this one. So is a very good tonka beans. In official notes, there are cherries, pink pepper, bergamot, vanilla, of course, heliotrope, orange blossom, and base notes, of course, a tonka bean, cashmere wood, musk, labdanum, violet, and ambroxan. I really like that they declared ambroxan here because it reminds me of Tom Ford, but it's like a fresher Tom Ford and with a little bit better longevity. And it's not as sweet and dense and alcoholic, but longevity is better. So I really like they indicated ambroxan in this fragrance, because normally in the recent editions of the other house fragrances, they don't say anything about ambroxan. Many houses think that ambroxan there is no necessity to indicate it as a separate note, because it kind of give a projection and kind of give a longevity and fluidity of the fragrance. but I am very sensitive to ambroxan, so I cannot wear many fragrances. I don't buy them. I will not name them now because I don't want to you to have a bad opinion about good fragrances which I'm in particular intolerant to, but I really like that when a house is indicated. So here there is very little ambroxan. It used in exact proportion that it gives this 3D effect to the fragrance, but it doesn't disturb you. So thank you very much, BDK. I like you and I want more from you. And what happened after? And just before I left the event, I've got a little gift from the nice man Rob. And Rob gave me 2 samples from the house of Nishane. Nishane is a Turkish house. Yeah. The first fragrance name is Unutamam. And the second fragrance name is Nefs. And I will start with Unutamam. Unutamam is an aromatic spicy fragrance, and you see it's quite dense and thick and looks like very old olive oil. Yeah. Ah, it is nice. Who is Unutamam? Unutamam is an amber fougere from 2019, and it was created by Miguel Matos. Miguel Matos is a Portuguese perfume writer, and it's really interesting when writers make their own perfumes, and this one is very beautiful. So when I tried it first time, it's obviously very green, and it's not like a fresh grass green. It has all type of greens. It's very aromatic, and also it has a deep dark greens like patchouli or oak moss. Yeah, this is what you normally feel. I also felt leather here, but when I look at the nose after, there is no leather here, but I'll tell you what it smells like a leather to me, what I assume smells like a leather. So if we go to the official notes, it looks like Italian herbs mixture, fresh Italian herbs mixture, and it has rosemary, mint, juniper, oregano, that's enough probably from the kitchen, lavender of course, but it's a fougere, and from flowers it has a little bit of jasmine and carnation. You don't really feel them here like a flowers. They give a little bit of softness to all these greens. It also has an amber. Amber just puts things together. Other declared notes are patchouli and oak moss, so it gives a very green, heavy base, earthy green base to this fragrance, so it smells green from the bottom to the top. Very beautiful. And it also has a caramel and labdanum, so it makes it a little sweet. That's why it doesn't smell like Italian kitchen herbs, yeah, because it has a very beautiful framing and connections between things. And it has a castoreum. So what I thought is leather, it's a bit animalic note of castoreum. I never smelled castoreum anywhere else in the fragrances, and it's quite a unique experience for me to try this fragrance. I had a very similar video about the same event in Russian, and when I was spraying it for that video, I found that this fragrance leaves the yellow stains on everything. So if you buy it, please don't wear light things when you spray it. So this is fragrance for black cloves. You see? Yeah. Okay, it's more masculine than feminine, for sure, but I don't see why women cannot wear it. So when girls you are looking for, I'm talking to girls now. When girls you are looking for something, you say sexy woman, like a beach, like a woman who okay, I will not use this word. Someone who very selfish and always gets what she wants, and probably wears dark clothes all the time. This probably you should try because it has a sort of the witchy twist, like a forest, and at the same time it's animalic. So this one like a very beautiful, very healthy, very strong, young, quite young, maybe 30 years old witch from the forest. And the second one in the yellow, and actually it's golden box, and bottle also golden, very beautiful bottle, is a fragrance from Nishane house named Nefs. Spraying. When I tried it for the first time, even before I opened the box, I was feeling like, oh, where is Baccarat Rouge here? And after I understood it's not a Baccarat Rouge from from Maison Bourgogne, Christian, then I tried it again, and it smelled to me Miel Arabi, the Arabic honey from Chopard private collection. So it definitely has quite a good dose of Ambraxan from Baccarat Rouge. It has a good strong honey and this very strong note of saffron. So this is a saffron fragrance. You cannot be mistaken. It's a very healthy dose of saffron here. This fragrance was issued in 2019, and the author of this fragrance is Chris Maurice. I never heard this name so far, and I am glad that I found quite an interesting fragrance from this gentleman. And first of all, I should start with gender. I don't know why. It's a unisex. It's slightly on the masculine side. It has a sweetness, but this sweetness is not a feminine sweetness. It's a sweetness of honey. And saffron gives it a little brutal sweetness, if I can say that. It's very strange definition, I assume. Brutal sweetness. This fragrance also has a lot of notes. A lot. So in the top notes, as I said already, there is a saffron honey, but also fig, violet, and sage. I'm not a fan of the fig fragrances. So here fig is not prominent, and you cannot qualify it for the fig fragrance at all. You will never feel fig here. It's just so well blended that it doesn't scream as a fig here. On the violet notes, the same. It gives a little bit of softness and flowerness, but doesn't really, you don't really feel a violet. The sage is good, but you don't feel it as well. Osmanthus, rose, geranium, nutmeg, and jasmine. Those are middle notes, and yes, Osmanthus gives here a little bit of feeling like suede, yeah, like a softness, a velour or velvet to the fragrance. Yes, it's beautiful. Rose, you know, it's hard for me to distinguish rose where there is so much honey that yeah, when it says rose, of course I feel rose. Geranium, not so much. Nutmeg, not so much. Jasmine, not at all. And in the base notes, there are a lot of notes declared, like vanilla, agar, wood, whiskey, gurjan, balsam, leather, amber, cinnamon, and cedar. It definitely has an alcoholic vibe, but you cannot say there is a whiskey here. It's not like, it's like a very expensive, well preserved vintage whiskey. Yeah. Vanilla as well. It's not it's not a dessert. It's not like a vanilla from, I don't know, ice cream. No, not at all. I said it's a very strange sweetness which would suit men very, very well, and women as well. And if we talk about wood, it's not strong either. So those both fragrances, they are sort of in the middle between East and West, yeah. So between, I would say, Middle East and Europe. Even if oud is declared here, they cannot qualify for the proper Middle Eastern fragrances. But in the same way, they cannot qualify for the like a proper designer type French fragrances, not at all. That makes them very interesting for me. I cannot say I would wear them in the daytime. I would not wear them in the office, but I definitely would wear them for the night out. So they are perfect, this brand. I want to try more. Thank you very much, Rob, for letting me to experience these fragrances. They are beautiful. And after the meeting, I got in touch with one of the gentlemen who was at the Sniffies, and we exchanged our profiles on Fragrantica and shown what we have for swap. And then we met, and I got in a swap Amouage Opus fragrance. This is Opus number 7, and it's Opus number 7, and it's not transparent bottle at all, so I will never know how much is left in this bottle. I don't know if it's good or bad. And author of this fragrance, there are two men, Alberto Morias, who is father of since all the selective lines of designer houses, and Pierre Negrin, who is also very legendary perfumer. This fragrance was issued in 2013. Before this swap, I look at the notes, and it has a lot of funny notes, and I asked the gentleman who we made a swap with whether it smells like spicy, and he says it's a lot of cumin there. And I asked, does it smell like a biryani? And he said, no, it smells like your kitchen spice cabinet. That was sounding intriguing, and when I smelled it, I should say it's an interesting experience. Actually, cumin is not declared in the notes. What is declared in the notes is fenugreek. It's a different spice. But when you smell this fragrance, you definitely feel some sort of cumin. Yeah, it's a little bit sweaty, and a little bit like a masculine sweaty. But it also has enough freshness, and the freshness is coming from, I assume, pink pepper probably, and patchouli, and something else. But if you like slightly dirty fragrances, this is here. So, and do I like it or not? I really like it because it's quite unusual. I wouldn't recommend to buy it without testing. Please test it because I think it's more on the masculine side, and if you are a female, you may not even find it wearable for you. Look, yeah, heavy metal cap. Yeah. And if you are a male, you may find it's too sweaty for you. If you like fresh fragrances, then you may not like it. So it's for tasting. It's for tasting it on yourself and wearing before buying. I would recommend to buy a sample first, because the shop tasting, even if you have it in the shops, it may not be enough. It also reminds me something from my childhood. There was something smelling, some sort of fragrances smelling on men, like this, but I cannot explain what is it. So if we go to the official notes, there are leather notes, and they don't really feel like leather. If you tried the Gucci Guilty Absolute, that smells like leather. Here is nothing like this. At the same time, you will find that oud is declared in this fragrance, and I don't really find it oudy at all. I'm a bit sensitive to oud fragrances, and I don't find it here. It smells like spices, but not really like a kitchen spice, kitchen cabinet. Yeah, there is something more on the back of this fragrance, and it's a bit salty. Yeah, it has ambergris, it has a olibanum. That's why probably it smells salty. Why I'm doing like this? Okay, that's what I got, and this nice gentleman Rehman gave me a sample of the fragrance from Tower, which name is Desert Moroccan. This is probably the driest fragrance I have. Yeah, it smells all type of things which are not even declared in the note. So for me, it smells a little bit of frankincense. It smells a little bit of myrrh. It smells a little bit of amber, and labdanum. It has some sort of salty stuff on top as well. And it's a strange thing which I will say now. It smells me mint, but not a fresh mint. It's like dried mint. And it smells very, very dry, like it's not liquid, like if it was a scent. Yeah. I think it's also perception of the name, because desert Moroccan means Moroccan desert. Yeah. It may change my perception. That's why I have already preoccupied by by the name. If you look at the top notes are coriander, petit grain, cumin, and lavender. So lavender normally gives to the perfume freshness, but there's no freshness here. It's a clean perfume. It smells very clean, but it doesn't smell fresh. It doesn't smell like there is a juice or water or anything which normally gives a freshness. It also declares cumin, and cumin normally gives a little bit of sweaty notes. It's what people feel in this fragrance, and which doesn't present here. But in this fragrance you don't really feel cumin at all. And I know cumin smell very well because I use it in the kitchen all the time. It's good for the meat. It gives more meatiness to the meat, so meat feels more meaty if you cook with cumin. Petit grain is the same thing. Petit grain is the branches and leaves of the citrus tree, but it normally gives a freshness, and you don't feel any greens here. The pyramid also declares there is a jasmine, geranium, and birch here. It's nothing like this here. If birch means tar from the birch, then probably I would say it might be here. But I also don't feel any vetiver, patchouli, oak moss, or woodiness. Yes, there is a woodiness. So it's a very interesting fragrance. It's so I was dreaming to try it, and I'm really happy that Rehman gave me this sample. I am so happy because it's such an unusual thing to experience. Basically, that's it from me, and please share with me if you in your city or any place where you live have other people and you meet together, you swap fragrances, you have a chance to try other stuff from others. Please share with me. Thank you very much.